Hi everyone, Aiden here at the Trailer. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the CURT Venturer Next time-delayed brake controller. Now when it comes to brake controllers, you're going to have two different options, your time-delayed and your proportional. Proportional is definitely the preferred method. It's a lot nicer because if you lightly apply the brakes on your vehicle, it's going to lightly apply the brakes on your trailer. And same thing for if you harshly apply them, if you have to come to a sudden stop because of an emergency, your trailer is going to match that. So it's all proportional. Whereas with the time-delayed system, it's going to be the same level of application every time. You can adjust that, and there is a manual override, but you're going to have to set the settings for your trailer, and it's always going to be the same pressure. So you don't get that same responsiveness that you would with a proportional system. But if time-delayed is what you're looking for, then this can certainly fit the bill, and there's a lot of different controls on here. There's two sets of arrow keys on the left and right. The first set is going to control your gain. There's going to be many different levels in power level increments of 1. So down there is going to be power level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up. And as the number gets higher, the brake power is going to get higher too. So this is going to be for your heavier trailers. And then if you've got a lighter trailer, you'd want to turn the power down because you just don't need as much stopping power. The next set of arrows controls the load. Now this is going to be the speed at which the brakes are applied. So if I press on the brakes right now, you can see, let's actually turn up the power so you can see it a little better. I've got it set to full right now so you can see when I hit the brakes, it's going to slowly climb to that set power level. Now if I turn that load up, it's going to climb a lot quicker. And you can really see that difference there from the max all the way down to the minimum. That's going to climb much slower. So that's going to be the sensitivity, basically. You can customize these to fit the needs of your trailer, and even if you have that speed, that load set really low, you've always got your manual override switch that you pinch there with your thumb. So if you need to suddenly stop and you need that immediate braking power, you've got it. And I think the way it's all set up here, it's really easy to reach. If I've got my hand on the steering wheel and all of a sudden I need to reach for it, I feel like it's pretty easy to index and press with your thumb. You may not have as fine-tuning control as you do with maybe your pointer finger, but it's enough that it gives you that extra control if you need it. The LED readout here is pretty nice. It's easy to see and it does give you the information you need. The CURT Discovery Next, it's a very similar brake controller as this one, also time delayed. It's just going to be a little bit nicer, and that readout's going to give you a little bit more information, a little bit more clearly, rather than just the bar scale of your power levels. So depending on your needs, if you want one that's a little nicer, that's the one I would go with. You get a few more features there too, and finer tuning adjustment on the gain in 0.5 increments rather than just one full level. Now to give a more visual representation of that brake power, I've got the gain set to the lowest setting, and you can see we've got our vehicle plugged into our trailer test box. It's going to simulate being hooked up to a trailer, and when I press the brakes, you can see that voltage go up, simulating our brake power. Now if I turn the gain all the way up, you'll see that that needle goes much higher. So that's going to give just more of a visual representation of what that gain is doing. And since you can't necessarily see it on a trailer hooked up, this is the next best thing to be able to see it. As far as compatibility goes, this is going to work with low voltage, PWM, ABS, cruise control, and electric over hydraulic brakes, and is designed to be used with trailers up to 3 axles. So it's going to be a pretty wide range. If you do have a trailer that has 4 axles, you'll need to upgrade to that Discovery Next that we mentioned earlier. But if you have anything up to 3, that means single, tandem, and triple, then you'll be all good with this. Now, one of the big benefits of the Venturer is, I think, the profile. It's pretty slim, and the mounting bracket they include keeps things really flush against wherever you choose to mount this. This is the brake controller that was in this 4Runner before with the bracket, and sitting side by side, I'll try to move this a little bit over, you can see just how much thicker it is, and it's going to be much more at risk of being hit by your knees as you're getting in and out of the vehicle, or if you've just got your foot up resting, This one is very much out of the way. This is probably a comfortable driving position for me in this vehicle, and it's nowhere near hitting my leg. So that's a big advantage to something that's externally mounted like this. You don't want it to be interfering. Now, that's going to change depending on the driver and the vehicle, but one other thing that helps this, in addition to that slim mounting, is the fact that it can really be mounted anywhere. Because it's not relying on inertia to determine how hard it should be braking, you can really put it wherever. It doesn't necessarily need to be level or mounted in any particular orientation. So, depending on your vehicle, you can find the spot that works best for you. Here's a closer look at that bracket. There's 2 pinch tabs at the bottom to release it, and it does include 2 self-tapping screws if you want to mount it up directly like that. They are quite long, and I didn't want to put new holes in this vehicle, so we're using the included double-sided adhesive. It works really well, and it's on there very firmly. And then the brake controller will just click in to that bracket, if I can get it lined up, just like that. So the installation is really straightforward on that regard. The other thing you need to know is how you're going to wire it up. Now, as it stands right now, it just comes with this wire lead, and we're using a pigtail here to just mount this directly to our vehicle's wiring. This is a separate piece, and it's going to vary depending on your vehicle, but you can check our website. You can see if it's going to work for your vehicle, if we've got the right pigtail adapter, but also check your vehicle to see if it's set up for that plug-and-play installation, because it may not. That LED readout will also give you error messages, and you can adjust the brightness on there using the dial controls here. Just know that you have some extra information that can be read from there. I think because of the fact that there's a screen, they can include things like that, and I personally do like having that because it's going to let you know what's going on if something's not connected properly, and your instructions do give a whole diagram of the different error codes that might pop up and what they mean. So if you're just looking for a good entry-level option to get you started with a brake controller, you don't necessarily want to jump to the most difficult to install right away because you don't know if you're going to need it and you just want something to get you going, then I think the Venturer can be a pretty solid option if you don't mind that time-delayed system. But again, this has been our quick look at the CURT Venturer Next time-delayed brake controller. Thanks for watching.